Hello, I'm Andrew Price, welcome to the channel, and today I'm at Fjord Woods in Somerset and we're about to do some hunting with an antique black powder shotgun. Now there's something I absolutely love about shooting old guns like this. Now black powder may be a lot slower to reload and it's certainly a lot dirtier, and I mean a lot dirtier. But that said, it's still a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you how I reload for this shotgun. And all the equipment I have is in this bag here, so it was very typical for someone out hunting to keep all their equipment in a little shoulder haversack like this, or a little game bag. So I'm going to start off with a powder flask. So this has got a measured amount, and to use it, I just put my finger over here, put it upside down, move this lever to one side and release it. And then when I put it in the upright position, I can see that's now full of powder. So the first thing I do, keeping my face away from the muzzle, is pour that powder down the barrel. I've already checked that this is clear as well, so I should have mentioned that before. Now, once I've done that, I need to take a waxed wad. So this is a fiber wad impregnated with wax, and I push this into the barrel like so. Now I take my ramrod and I push all the way down. Make sure that that's packed right against the powder at the bottom, so you don't want any air gap there, which can cause increases in pressure. That can potentially be quite dangerous. So making sure that's down there where it needs to be, take the ramrod back out. Now I need to put the shot in, so I'll hold this to one side. And this time I have a different flask. This one is for shot, so same again. So that's a measured amount of shot. Pour my shot down into here. So the final thing, once the shot's been put in there, is just take a little overshot card, poke that into the barrel, and then we put that down. So this holds the shot against the wad. Oh, you get a little bit of pressure building up when you do that sometimes. Just make sure that's down. Just take your time with it. I could have shot about 30-40 rounds in the time it's taken me to load one shot in this old gun, but it'll be worth it. I put my ramrod down. There we go. Okay, so the gun is now charged with powder. It has wadding and it has shot and an overshot card, but there's no percussion cap or primer on here. So that's the last thing I'll do once I'm ready to start shooting. Now before I can shoot this old shotgun, I have to put a percussion cap on. So I've got a number 11 percussion cap here. And I put the gun into the half cock position. So I pull back on the hammer. Now it's in the half cock position. I put my percussion cap onto here. Make sure it's nicely seated. And now I'm ready to shoot. That's a lot of fun. So I'm ready to reload, so I begin with putting the powder in. And this is my, I think it's a genuine original powder flask, but they do still make these. So to do that, I put my finger over the top here. I move this lever to one side, give it a little shake, release the lever, and now when I bring it up, you should be able to see that's full of powder. So without putting my face directly over the muzzle, I pour the powder down the muzzle, give that a little tap. So I've got the powder in. The next job is to put a wad in. This is a waxed fiber wad, and I put this into the muzzle, just poke it down a little bit. Now I take my ramrod, and you notice it has a wide end here, which is what I use to temp everything down. So I push the wad down the barrel. Make sure this is seated tightly against the powder. You don't want any gaps in there. There we go. So now I've put the wadding in, the next thing is to put this vintage shot flask, which is leather, And to do that, I put my index finger over the top here, press this lever, give it a little shake. There you go. Now if you can see the shot in there. So I take this shot and I pour it down the barrel. And then to finish off, I just use this little overshot card which goes into here. And that holds all the shot in place. So I just bring that down. Now this is loaded. I've got the powder, got the wad, got the shot and the overshot card. The only thing that's missing is the source of ignition, which is a primer. And this goes onto this nipple here, which is under the hammer. So I just pull this hammer back into the half-cocked position, and I need to put a primer on here. So now I have my percussion cap. These are tiny, they're little copper percussion caps filled with mercury fulminate, which is a explosive compound that reacts with ignition. So now that I've got this in the half-cocked position, it's ready to fire. So I'll just put this onto here. Just make sure that percussion cap is secure. Missed. I got it. There you are. Perfection. Beautiful. Now, I never feel good about killing any wild animal, but these are invasive species. Grey squirrels were introduced to this country several centuries ago. They have pushed the native red squirrel population to the very remote extremes of the UK. They eat the eggs and destroy the nests of young nesting birds at this time of year. They chew the bark off young trees. They are a pest in the countryside, and which is why the owner of this woodland asked me if I'd come and help to control their numbers. Now, I don't like to kill anything I'm not going to use, so we're going to cook this squirrel and have it for dinner. That looks done. Be a bit of a cliche to say it tastes like chicken, but it tastes like chicken. Not really. The dog's loving this. My hands are covered in grease. This is a very fatty squirrel. And what amazes me, I mean, considering these are a pest, and I know they've got bushy tails and they look very cute, but they are a pest and they taste really good, so we should be eating a lot more of these. You can have some leftovers, I'm sure, but I'm keeping the rest. This 16-bore shotgun was made by someone called T. Redlin in London, probably around 150 years ago. Now, I'm sure he is long gone, but his craftsmanship is still here and it still works. And there's something a little bit magical about using an old hunting gun like this and catching your dinner. So, as I've said before, I don't get any pleasure from killing an animal, but there is really something about continuing that tradition and feeding yourself off the land. And if we are going to eat meat, then we should be prepared to take responsibility for how it's harvested. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't, well, I hope you found it at least educational. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to our weekly videos, and we'll see you next time.